Hi everyone, my name's Katrina and today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips for how to prepare for book conventions and writers' festivals. This video has kindly been sponsored by the Sydney Writers' Festival, which is coming up from April 30th until the 6th of May. I'll have some more information and links in the description, including a link to my all-day YA guide video. On Saturday the 5th, they're hosting a bunch of young adult events, so I've put together a video talking through all of the events, what they are going to be about, and which authors are attending. In the past, I have attended the Sydney Writers' Festival, the Melbourne Writers' Festival, Book Expo Australia, and Supernova, which isn't a solely book-related event, but they do host authors. So the tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are based on my experiences from these conventions and festivals that I've attended over the past few years. I'm sure that there are other events that are hosted differently, so make sure that you read all of the information about those festivals and conventions and all of the information about the specific events you're attending so you don't miss any important information. I thought I would also direct you to Emma from Emma Books, who did an incredibly detailed guide to surviving BookCon. So if you're looking for tips specifically for BookCon, I would recommend you go and take a look at her video. Link is down below. But without further ado, let's jump into phase one, which is planning. First and foremost, before any of the programs have even been announced, I would recommend signing up to the festival's newsletters and following them on social media. This will ensure you get updates as they happen, you have easy access to all of the up-to-date information, and you won't miss out on any important announcements such as program launches, ticket sales, and any last-minute changes. Prepare your schedule as early as possible, i.e., as soon as the program comes out. Especially for festivals with tickets, make sure that you've set out what you would like to do as soon as you can. If you're able to do this before the tickets even go on sale as well, hopefully this will help you avoid any disappointment in missing out on an event that sells out. I would also recommend having some backup options available as well. If there are some events that you're interested in that do happen to sell out pretty fast, or that you're not able to get tickets for in time, it'd be handy to have some alternative event options already decided upon. I would also recommend that you block out some time for, bathroom and meal breaks, but also for signing opportunities. The Sydney Writers' Festival, for example, often has their authors doing signings right after one of their events. So in cases like this, for example, say your favorite author is attending the festival and you go to the panel that they're on, I would recommend keeping the time directly after that free so that you can go ahead and get that book signed and not lose out because you got to rush to another event. There are some other conventions and festivals that actually host specific author signing times, so just make sure you look up how things are run and familiarize yourself with the signing timetable. Print your tickets and your schedule ahead of time, and also have a backup on your phone in case you lose any of it. I would also recommend that you familiarize yourself with the event map before the day. Figure out which rooms or venues your events are being hosted at and see where they are on the map. You don't need to necessarily memorize the map, but if you just kind of get your bearings, hopefully you can avoid getting lost and you can avoid running late if you underestimate the amount of time needed to travel from one event to another. And I also want to emphasize that you should carefully read all of the event and signing information in case there's any important info about requirements for events, things that you need to know ahead of time. Some signing events also limit the amount of books that you can actually get signed, so knowing information like this could save you a lot of trouble, especially if, for example, you take 10 books from this one author, come down and realize you're only allowed to get 2 of them signed and you've carried around those 8 others for no reason. Moving on to phase 2, some tips for on the day. Wear comfy shoes. If you have a busy day that involves a lot of walking around and traveling between events, you want to be comfortable. Blisters and sore calves are not pleasant, especially if this is a multiple day event. You don't want to burn yourself out on the first day and then have to struggle through the rest of them. Bring extra tote bags. Often I will bring some books with me because I know that I'm going to be seeing this author's event and I would like to get this book signed by them afterwards, so I'll bring a few books with me. But in some cases I will actually attend an event where I am introduced to an author I haven't heard of before and I really enjoy hearing them talk about their book. I'm getting really intrigued, and then I might be tempted to pick up their book afterwards. Having a tote bag handy means you can easily withstand the extra load. If the bookseller only uses plastic bags, you'll also also be saving some plastic. And you're also less likely to have some bag breakages if you do use plastic bags. Some plastic bags aren't super strong, so you don't want to put a huge weight into them, have it break, and then damage all of your books. Bring a water bottle and some snacks. If you have a completely booked out day, you want to ensure that you don't get dehydrated or go hungry, especially when you have limited time between events. Bring a portable charger. I often have this issue where I'm live tweeting a lot of events and then my phone battery dies. And depending on your location, you may not have access to wall outputs. So I'd recommend bringing along a charged portable charger. I've also had that issue as well, where I hadn't fully charged it and wasn't much help. I'd also recommend bringing a notebook and pen. You can also use your phone for this, but I actually like to handwrite things down. Sometimes I like to take notes during sessions, and this could be things like interesting things that the authors say, or it could be book or author recommendations. Sometimes the panelists will talk about some books they love or other authors that they love, so I like to have a notebook handy to write all this information down. For those of you bringing books to have signed by the authors, I totally feel ya, but I'd also recommend that you don't overburden yourself. Prioritize which books you'd most like to get signed. If you have a long day ahead of you, and you have 20 books in your backpack, you're gonna tire yourself out and potentially cause some damage as well. Not gonna lie, I've given myself some back problems from lifting books. It's not very fun. So just keep in mind to be a little careful with how many books that you're bringing. So those are my tips for preparing for and making the most of your book conventions and writers' festivals. I hope you guys find these useful. If you have any handy tips from your own experiences at conventions and festivals, I would love to hear about them, so please leave those in the comment section below. But that is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you Sydney Writers Festival for sponsoring this video. I'll see you very soon in a new video, but until then, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye!